iconic video game Hitman reaches the big screen next week. The action-packed movie Hitman Agent 47 is the story of a genetically engineered assassin.
He targets a corporation that's looking to build an army of trained killers. Here's a preview.
He's here to kill you, Katya, and I'm here to stop him. I'm John Smith. I know you don't have any reason to trust me, but look at him. Look at how he moves. Look at the shadows under his coat. Look at his eyes, and tell me that I'm lying.
The two stars, Rupert Friend and Zachary Quinto, join us now at the table. Gentlemen, good morning.
Before they get started, Christine, you guys should do the Carlton for us. I saw you watching that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Go ahead.
She's not kidding.
What's going on at the table?
Well, thanks for joining us this morning to both of you. So, judging from that clip, who's the good guy and who's the bad guy here?
It's a good question.
It's a very good question. Yeah, it's one of those kind of...
It's part of, I think, the intrigue of the film in a lot of ways. Is you don't, I mean, my character, you certainly don't necessarily have a pulse on his intentions at the beginning. But then as you get into the world, you realize that there's this kind of blanket of nefarious energy over all of us, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, there's still questions that linger throughout the whole film. Absolutely.
No, and there's big competition between the two of you. I mean, it goes back and forth. Number one, I watch the movie like this most of the time with my eyes covered because you, Rupert, are so chilling and so scary. Is playing a bad guy more fun? Both of you. Is that a more fun character to play?
I don't know. I think all of it's fun. It's all just sort of make-believe. But this is completely sort of little boy dream, really. You get to jump and roll about and be kind of the badass guy. And you know, I managed to persuade them to let me do 98% of the stunts.
Really?
So it was a lot of, you know, there's wire work and there's martial arts and there's a lot of kind of reloading of multiple guns and garrotes and things like that.
How do you prep for that? I mean, how do you prep for something that's so physical?
I mean, there was a lot of conditioning, I would say, before we went to start shooting in Berlin. And then when we were there, we really were working with each other and with the stunt team to kind of get up to speed with the fights and to know where we were going to be and how to kind of relate to the cameras and stuff. That's just part of this kind of a film. But there was a lot of close-range gunfire in the movie, often aimed at me.
Yeah, I think it was an equal opportunity distributor of who was going to get what. But it's a video game. Were you a big gamer? No, you asked to play video games before you did it, right?
Yes, I asked for them to be sent because I wanted to sort of get inside the whole world. And they're now making video games with the same sort of way they make movies. You know, they take actors and they study the movement of the people, and it's pretty extraordinary. So that was really helpful.
The power of that industry is really overwhelming, just the video game world. So to draw that fan base in and to expand on the narrative of this game that so many people loved for so long was interesting. It was cool.
With this many action scenes, sorry, Vanita, accidents are bound to happen. Were there a few?
Yes. In one of the aforementioned fights with Zach, I managed to shoot myself in the head with a cartridge that was flying out of the gun at 1,000,000 miles an hour, which is kind of red-hot brass bouncing off the floor and cutting my head open. Then we had this crazy thing in Singapore where no one has ever fired a gun in Singapore before this movie. We were the first people to ever do it. Yeah, except the police. And after each shot, a policeman or 16 policemen have to go and pick up the ejected shell.
Every shell.
Every single one. And if they don't find everyone, then you have to stop filming.
I mean, there was one day we were in this alley and they just couldn't find, we couldn't move on. It was like
all of us were on our hands and knees, like looking for contact lenses.
In the gutter, like looking for shells. It was so strange,
We're so used to seeing you as Quinn and you as Spock. And so there's visually, you just look night and day different. Was that different for you both as well? Because I'd imagine that shaved head, when you end filming, still has some after effects.
Very intense.
Yeah, it's still cold,
But when you looked in the mirror and saw yourself, because I'm not kidding, you had such a steely glare. No, the minute you popped on the screen.
You keep saying that about the poster. Look at this glare.
It's a steely glare, Rupert.
Steely glare. Do you have a steely glare?
It was very frightening. No, I really don't. I don't.
No, you looked mean. Like you had no emotion at all.
None?
And it's so opposite of who you are, so I've been told.
Okay, well, that's job done then.
So
And the movie of Quinn versus Spock.
let's talk
Yeah, that's next.
about Homeland, though, because when it left off, it was unclear. You may or may not survive as you go off on this very dangerous mission.
Yeah.
And there's something between you and Carrie that I'm hoping goes further.
Yeah.
What would you like to share with us at this point?
I think the does Quinn survive is very pertinent because I think survive has a lot of different interpretations. And whether that's mentally or physically, I think that would be a bit of a clue potentially.
Okay.
And Zachary, you're working on a new Star Trek project?
Yeah, we're in Vancouver right now filming. It's
Can you
great.
do this?
You know, I read that you could not
Christine
do this.
can do it.
I can do that.
Well, didn't you have to practice, though, the first
I did
time
when I
around?
first got the job.
Yes, you had to rubber band your
Yeah.
two fingers.
I would drive around LA and like exercise my fingers to be able to do it. It was hilarious. Yeah, but we're in the middle of the third one now, and it's just great. I mean, it's so great to be back with everybody, and we did the last two in LA, so to be in Vancouver and all of us being away from home, there's this kind of like summer camp vibe
Yeah,
up there.
that's
and
nice.
It's been really
We
fun.
like camp.
Yeah, totally.
And I like your accent. The fact that you can do an American accent so well.
So well.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thank you.
How you do that?
How do you do that?
I think that, too, that this kind of maybe has a sequel in question, right?
There's a sequel for
Open it
sure
up.
coming to this movie, for sure. Not giving anything away. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, pleasure.